Well, over 1,400 tickets sold so far. It looks like you're going to get the big backing you wanted, and it should make for a great night. We've just got to go out there and deliver the goods.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's brilliant support, really good numbers, and no doubt the atmosphere in the away end will be outstanding. So, yeah, really grateful that everyone's getting behind us and coming to the game, and hopefully we can get those couple of hundred extra ones sold this afternoon and really sell it out and make a right racket. So, first thing is to be present, second thing is to be active, third thing is to be brilliant. That's the same for us.
Is it a case of, I suppose you take those elements from recent matches? That's what you've been doing, isn't it? You just need to carry that momentum. Yeah,
exactly. I think that's the message for the week, really. We haven't got to do anything different to what we've been doing. We've found a really good vein of form. Our consistency's been excellent. Temperament's been good. We've found good quality in games, been clinical. We've been defensively strong. And you can never take any of those things for granted. Winning games is hard work. Playing that well creates or demands a lot from us, and we're going to need to make sure that we've got all of those qualities about us against Burton, because they'll really test us. They make you defend and play with a real aggression in the way they go about the game, and they're in brilliant form themselves. I think since the turn of the year they've been in the playoff positions, so we know that this is going to be a really difficult game for us, but we also know that we've got a brilliant opportunity, and it's up to us to deliver a top performance and try and get a really good result.
A good example really with Burton of late, that they've had quite a tough run of games, but they've been picking up the points.
Yeah, super competitive. They've had some great results against some of the big hitters, and they've been really consistent in their games as well. So yeah, it's set up to be a good game, and hopefully the atmosphere really drives us on, and us understanding the situation that we find ourselves in, the opportunity that we've got, gets a little extra out of us if that's possible. I mean, we're given everything recently. I think the performances have been great. I thought we were excellent the weekend, well deserving of the result despite the tetchy nature of the finish to the game. The game always had potential for the last 10 minutes to be really, really fiery and feisty, because if it was a draw at any point, both teams would be trying to win it, and vice versa. So, I think it was always going to be a little bit like that, and we have to make sure that if we can get on top in this game, that we win the game in the moments that are there for us. But we'll have to first and foremost be incredibly committed to the game and be as dominant in the first and second balls as we were at the weekend.
Is the biggest plus from the weekend the fact you've got your destiny back in your own hands? That's massive, isn't it, heading into these two games, that if you do your job, and yeah, there's a lot of work to be done, but if you do it, then you don't have to worry about anyone else.
Yeah, and the thing I like about Wednesday's game is there is no other game going on, so there is nothing else to think about. And Sunday's games are complete irrelevance to us until Thursday. So until we know the situation of Wednesday's game, nothing else after that really is important. The only thing we have to do, to make it sound like it's easy, is go and be brilliant, and that's what we're responsible for and in charge of. And if we can do that and get a good result, then we can deal with, right, what are the permutations after that. But the first thing and the most important thing and the only thing that matters now is, are we going to prepare properly and well enough for this game? Are we ready to go and deliver a really top performance, and can we get a result? And yeah, that then puts it in our own hands on the last day, which is where we'd love to be.
And certainly no concerns around the team spirit or the atmosphere. I think we've seen that manifested in the performances of late. You've got that momentum, and you just have to hope that can be a big factor over the final two games.
Definitely, yeah. I think the confidence and the momentum of the team is really clear to everyone to see, and we saw the dip in performance levels when that wasn't there, but there's never not been a spirit or a belief amongst the players, ever. I don't care what anyone says. That's what the team is. It's got a resilient bit about it. We've been built on that. We've done that for the best part, or a larger part, of 3 years, and over the next 7 days we've got to deliver really 2 top performances in line with the most recent ones, and most importantly, get 2 results. And if they come at the expense of performances, so be it. The key is the results, but we know that performance levels and attitude really contribute towards that. So that's the task. And there's a really committed group of players desperate to do it.
With team news, anything fresh from the weekend?
No, nothing fresh from the weekend. The only 2 really that have been struggling is Lloyd, and that's a little bit day by day at the minute to see whether or not he can play any part tomorrow or this week. And Shiloh picked up an ankle knock the Thursday before the last game, so that ruled him out of the weekend. And he was back on the grass yesterday, so we hope that at some point he's able to join in this week, but he hasn't trained yet, so whether or not tomorrow comes too soon, that's another one to consider. But everybody that was there at the weekend is good.
And with Lloyd, is there a point where, with Ryan and Michael, and even with Dribble having come in for the back three the other day, you just get to the stage where final week you've got that momentum, it's settled in defence, that you just put Lloyd to one side, or could you see a situation where you would want to jump him straight back in?
I would definitely want him available, and then depending on what he does and whether he's fit depends on what that role would be. So yeah, the sooner we can get him involved again, the better. Whether that's from the start, from the bench, or whatever, we want to have him around it if we can. But that will literally be each day, depending how he recovers. He's got a bit of a problem in his groin, so until that's available and he's fit, then we haven't really got that decision to make. But we'll see again where he is today and see if he can play any part on Wednesday. We want to try and keep it in our control if we can, but we know how difficult that is. But I think everybody's quite excited by the game and looking forward to the challenge of trying to get another win on the road. We've had some tough games recently, but navigated them brilliantly. This will be another one, and our aim is to go and win it for sure. And then what will be afterwards. We'll work out what else happens, but the main focus is to try and go and win the game.
We touched upon the allocation for Burton pretty much selling out. With Forest Green as well, that's now been announced as being sold out. How good is that to see?
Yeah, that's great to see, but as boring as this is, we'll credit that one when we go through Wednesday's game. It's brilliant that that's happened, and hopefully that will be a really good day, but it don't really matter now until Wednesday's over. So our only concentration is that we've got brilliant support, we've been brilliantly backed all season by everybody, and I'm sure when Sunday comes around we'll credit that and look forward to it, but we want to make sure we go into that in the best possible situation we can. So everything we're talking about, doing and thinking about is how can we be brilliant on Wednesday. That's all we've got to do now.
Thanks, Mark.
Just one from me, Mark. You've mentioned over recent weeks how difficult it is to get the lads that have been injured fully fit, like Sir George Thomas and Fajiri, with your busy schedule and things like that, and matches mattering and things like that. Are them two, George Thomas and Fajiri, now at a point where, I don't expect you to give your team news away, but are they now at a point where you're ready to throw them in? Could either of them start tomorrow and you'd have no worries about that?
I think all the players are in a position now where they could start. Whether they could finish a game they start is another matter. So the consideration is always, are they ready to start and as battle hardened as the others and things like that. We've had a fairly consistent team recently, certainly when we played this shape, and it's changed to a back five. That's facilitated one or two different changes. But whether we choose to start them or have them as options on the bench, if we start them, the options on the bench will be very strong and vice versa. And we think that, I called this a while ago, both of them have got a big part to play in the final week of the season. There's no question about that. George has started that at the weekend. Both of them are capable of creating and scoring goals. And I'd expect them to write a few headlines this week, whether that's from the start or not. I think they've got a massive part to play this week.